When it comes to armors in the Mega Man X series, the 4th armor is one of the first ones I think of when it comes to a discussion about them, most often when it comes to the best armors in the X series, and a lot of people seem to think the same, at least in the parts of the Mega Man community I'm most involved with. In the Google form for the series, link in the description if you want to contribute to that for future videos, out of the 33 responses for the question about the best armor in the X series that aren't the ultimate and gold armor for obvious reasons, the 4th armor got 15 responses. 3 of them put others in competition with it, but it gives the 4th armor a 45% rating as of writing, way above what the Storm Tornado and Moving Wheel got, but not the Metal Blade because I decided that 4 responses and a 50-50 rating was enough data. Why didn't I just wait a week or two? Anyway, as it shows up in X4 and X5 are differences in both, it'll be an odd case compared to everything else this series has covered, so let's answer the question. Is the 4th armor really that good? And if so, is it both versions? Just to quickly go over how to get the 4th armor in X4, go to Web Spider for the foot parts in Lightning Web or Cyber Peacock for the head part. You can do either of them first, then go to Storm Owl for the arm parts, kill Slash Beast for Twin Slasher, and use a charged Twin Slasher on these rocks in Magma Dragoon stage. This isn't the order I get the armor, but it's the quickest route. No need to explain for X5, just start a playthrough as X. You're already doing that anyway since the Z-Buster sucks in that game. Since you can get the armor parts separately from each other, I'll go over what each part does, and I'll get to X5's changes after that. First is the head parts, which gives infinite ammo for uncharged special weapons. No need to explain, it's by far the best head parts in the X series, and it makes a lot of the weapons in X4 so much better, although Double Cyclone still isn't great. The body parts give a 50% damage reduction, which is great but isn't special amongst the armors in the X series other than Hermes, and lets X use the Nova Strike, one of the most unique Giga attacks in the X series. X will do a dash that can be used in the air, doing great damage and being invincible in the process. However, it can only be used when the energy for it is full. You can restore it by finding weapon energy capsules, or taking damage to make the process faster. The Nova Strike is great, it does great damage, and it's a good movement option. Now for the arm parts, you can choose Plasma or Stock, and it's a good excuse to use this image I threw together in Canva in 5 minutes for it. Starting with the Plasma Charge Shot, it's really big, so it's easy to hit something. It leaves behind up to 3 Plasma Balls which do continuous damage to enemies and mini-bosses, so it can kill them almost instantly, although the individual hits don't do much on their own, so against bosses any extra damage is equivalent to a lemon. Do note that against bosses the Plasma Balls take priority over semi-charged shots and special weapons, so that can be a bit annoying sometimes. As for Stock, it allows X to charge up to 4 charge shots, so releasing the shoot button the first time will just stop the charge without anything being fired. The shots can be fired in whatever way you please. You can use the shots sparingly or just spam them. These shots are small though, being smaller than the standard charge shot, but not by too much. And switching to or using special weapons will make the held charge shots disappear entirely, so you'll have to be careful there. As for which one is better, they're both better at doing certain things than the other, but from what I've seen from the Mega Man community, the Stock shot is the better option. Plasma's still really good. It's a great mini-boss shredder and amazing for eliminating destroyable projectiles or objects, but the Stock shot is better all around since you don't have to worry about the Plasma Balls getting in the way sometimes, and Charged Rising Fire and Aiming Laser fill the mini-boss shredder role just as well, but it doesn't matter that much in casual play, so just go with the one you like more. You can also charge special weapons, which is standard for arm parts in the X series, and some of these charged weapons are pretty good, like Aiming Laser and Ground Hunter. Last are the foot parts. X gets an air dash, which did become the norm in X7 and X8, but this isn't as big of an issue as the first armor has with the dash being standard from X2 and onward. You also get the hover. It does what it says, and you can stay hovering for about 3 seconds if you don't move during it. You stay hovering for 1 second if you do. Both options go the same distance horizontally, so it just depends on how fast you want to travel that distance. Hovering without moving can be helpful to avoid attacks or kill certain enemies easier, but that's about it. The 4th armor in Mega Man X4 is amazing. It has good movement options, 2 great options for arm parts, Nova Strike is an amazing movement option and damage dealer, and the best head part in the series. As for X5, it got nerfed very heavily To not go over the changes for too long, the head parts are just a 50% weapon ammo increase, Nova Strike is gone, you're stuck to just a plasma shot which can only leave one plasma bolt behind, and it doesn't do continuous damage to bosses. And it's still the best armor in the game that isn't the ultimate armor. Probably anyway, I know there's debate if the Falcon armor is better, but to get to the point, the main reason why I think that is because it can charge special weapons, which the Falcon and Gaia armor can't do. And some of these charged weapons are really good. Starting with Charged Crescent Shot, it creates a shield that can destroy projectiles and it lasts up to 10 seconds, and does really good damage to almost everything in X5, including the majority of bosses. Charged Flash Laser doesn't last as long and isn't a shield, but it fires a large laser beam and has the same great damage on nearly everything Crescent Shot has. There's some other good charged weapons like Ground Fire and Spike Ball, but those two are on a completely different level of busted. I'll go over the parts real quick, as while they aren't part of the 4th armor, they can still be used to boost its already high power. I'm sure I would get a comment about it if I didn't, and some of these parts are really good. For some parts I want to highlight, W Energy Saver gives all weapons double ammo, Quick Charge makes the Buster charge twice as fast, Buster Plus increases damage, and Ultimate Buster makes every shot fired fully charged, which is especially good with the Charged Crescent Shot and Flash Laser I mentioned earlier. There would be a stages section if I had more to say about it, so all I can say is that the 4th armor is really good in the stages of both games. Let's move on to the enemies and bosses. This part's gonna be fun. What do you mean I can't move on to them? Where are they right now? Oh.
Just got back from killing Colonel, what's up?
Nice. But what isn't nice is that the enemies and bosses section are up at the final weapon.
Wait, what happened to the rides you were gonna use?
No good. Double and Iris already took them. We missed our flight. How are we supposed to get to the final weapon now?
Leave it to me, X. I know a shortcut.
Zero! We are inside, General!
Trust the process! Trust the process, X!
Too late, I'm out of here! Nova Strike! Alright, now that I'm actually here, let's move on to the enemies and bosses. Against enemies, all versions of the 4th armor are great. The Plasma Shot, Stock Shot, and X5 versions can kill most enemies almost instantly, although the Stock Shot version will need to burn through most if not all shots held. Stock Shot does have the advantage of being able to store them for later though. Mini bosses are weird, but all versions are good at worst. The Plasma Shot is obviously the best as it incinerates all of them very quickly. Stock Shot isn't as amazing, but it can do great burst damage to them, and the X5 version isn't bad, but losing the extra plasma balls and their damage does hurt a lot, even if it's still pretty good. Bosses are also the same for them. The Plasma Shot does good damage, and the extra damage from the plasma balls are nice. Stock is the best since you can hold the shots and don't have to spend as much time charging. And the X5 version is still solid, but losing the extra damage does hurt a bit. The Nova Strike for the 4th armor in X4 is worth mentioning, as the great damage and invincibility can be very helpful for finishing up fights. All versions of the 4th armor are great against enemies and bosses. The X4 version is the best obviously, with Stock overall being better than Plasma in my personal opinion, but both are amazing. The X5 version is still great, but those nerfs do hurt, even if it doesn't matter too much at the end of the day. So is the 4th armor really that good? I don't even need to answer that question for the X4 versions. Yes, X5 is a weirder case, it's still really good and debatably the best armor in X5 if you ignore Ultimate, but I can't say it's good enough to be considered one of the best armors in the series, especially when comparing it to the X6 Falcon armor and the Blade armor for example. Parts are a weird case, but I consider them separate from the armor itself, so it's a yes for the X4 versions, no for the X5 version. With parts it's debatable, but again I consider them separately, so they aren't a factor for a question like this. This was a very fun video to work on, and I gotta thank my friend Blues for helping out with the skit. I'm back in action after my hiatus, and I'm hoping to make more videos like this one now that I'm no longer uploading monthly. Next video will be the Gravity Circuit boss ranking. That one's been due for almost 2 years now, but I do want to make an announcement related to the series. I've updated the Google form with more questions so I have more topics to work with. That's all. Like always, have a good day, and I'll see you again with the next video.